be under the bright lights. I want to be on the Broadway stage.
Tiger Rag Radio is on now.
And Shaeeta Williams, who handles the color analyst duties on the LSU Sports Radio Network, as she sits next to Patrick Wright for all these exciting games. And it's postseason time once again for LSU women's hoops. They'll begin playing the SEC tournament on Friday against a team yet to be determined. Shaeeta joins us here on the Max Home Hotline. Shaeeta, thanks a lot for joining us. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Jeff. Great to be here.
It's great to have you on. First of all, your thoughts on the final two games of the regular season, not the way that LSU wanted to finish things up.
Not the way we wanted to finish things up, losing one game in Alabama. I think we started out slow and then made a good comeback to get into overtime, but just didn't have enough in the tank. And then, senior day, we get a great lead and then lose the lead. So kind of the tale of two halves with both of those games, and just need to find a way to get back to what LSU basketball looks like.
Shaeeta, I thought Mulkey was pretty transparent after the Ole Miss game on Sunday when she said, obviously you can't turn the ball over 23 times against anybody that's got a heartbeat and expect to win, which they did against Ole Miss. But also, as you alluded to, losing the 13-point lead at halftime in the second half, she said she didn't know if they're going to win another game until Flau'jae comes back, and they recaptured their flow. Are the two things, are they going to happen coincidentally? If Flau'jae comes back, do they automatically capture their flow, or is it going to take her some time to get back in the flow of things?
Yeah, well, I think what Flau'jae brings to the program is just not great talent, but great leadership. And so you could kind of see that flow kind of missing without her there. I think the first half of the Ole Miss game, we came out and did what we needed to do, but Ole Miss made adjustments, and we did not. And I find at times Flau'jae has that leadership ability where she can get everyone on the same page. So I'm hoping with her returning, the flow will come back.
Is her injury such that it's really not anything to worry about? I mean, I know it's shin inflammation, and she says there's no structural damage, but do you think it is something that she can just pick right back up and come back?
I think the good thing is that we're very grateful that it's not structural, but she has proven to have a high pain tolerance. But I do hope that with this time off, I think that's a wise decision by Coach Mulkey, which is why she's a Hall of Famer, in having her sit not just in our last game, but also the tournament, just to get her healthy. And I think it will help. We have great doctors, great trainers, just to get her back flowing.
So obviously Coach Mulkey doesn't put much emphasis on the SEC tournament any year, but obviously it's even more obvious this year that, she could play Flau'jae, but she's not interested in doing that because her sights are firmly set on the NCAA tournament.
Right. I think in the 4 years Coach Mulkey has been here, we've heard her say, the tournament does not matter. The SEC tournament doesn't matter. If you do what you need to do during the regular season to secure the bid, then it doesn't matter. And I think a lot of times she's worried about injuries happening in the SEC tournament. So again, the wisdom to have Flau'jae sit out, and hopefully we can get a win on Friday. But if not, I don't think that's something that Coach Mulkey will lose a lot of sleep about.
Do you think it can adversely impact if they don't win in the SEC tournament at least once their number 2 seed? And is that a big deal?
I have thought about it, and I think if we do lose, we'll probably get a 3 seed. But I think remember in 2023 we were a 3 seed.
Right.
So, so I think it's the way the tournament and the bracket is drawn up that we could still do fine if we get a 3 seed.
Yeah, just to let everybody know that whether they're number 2, number 3, or number 4, they would still be hosting the first 2 rounds of the NCAA
Correct.
tournament. So were you surprised that Flau'jae and Anissa and Michaela Williams made first team All-SEC?
I think what the 3 have done throughout the season, from the non-conference season to conference season, they have proven time and time again that they are 3 of the best players in the country. And it's a first time thing for LSU to have 3 on the first team. But look at their numbers, and numbers, as Patrick often says, numbers don't lie.
That's right. Do you think that there's a matchup problem anywhere in the NCAA tournament for them, or do you believe that it's pretty much, all top 10 teams, all the top 7 or top 10 teams are pretty even?
I think it just depends on the floor of the game. Obviously, we've lost, South Carolina and Texas are the ones that stick out to me as the co-champions in the SEC. And I think more what I would say would just continue to need some help in the post play. So I think, if we were to meet up against a bigger post player, that's when you got to ask a little bit more of Samaya Smith and Wolfenbarger that they just grind it out and give more of the help.
Joining the Army is more than a chance to serve your country. It's also a great career move.
All my personal experience, I've been able to build upon that so that I could achieve construction management and training, go for a project manager planner. So when I get out of the military, I'm able to pursue a career in construction management.
Get the experience you need through service in the United States Army.
We're talking with Shaeeta Williams from the LSU Sports Radio Network. Shaeeta, do you think the point guard play is good enough to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament?
Just in watching Coach Mulkey, I think she is very strategic. When do you play Dave Wilson? When do you play Poa? Because of Poa's experience, and I'm glad that she got to play a little bit more. I think because of her experience from the national championship and kind of what she's shown the last few games, that if we can get a flow of getting those two players to complement each other, that we could make a run. We see Michaela Williams at the point sometimes where she has been actually asked to play 1 through 4. So I think depending on the matchup, I like Michaela at the point sometimes because she can get a high ball screen and knows how to score and create for herself.
Do you think the point guard has been the primary issue with the high amount of turnovers that they've done from time to time this season that they've committed?
Yeah, I think it's been the point guard just, making the decisions on when to pass the ball up the floor. I'm a believer that the pass is quicker than the dribble. So I think there are times we dribble too much and when we should have passed it. I also think, sometimes our players off the bench, you want to get highly involved and get some things going. And so sometimes we see turnovers, not just from the point guard position, but some of our guards that come in and maybe try to create a little bit too much too fast.
What about the defense? I mean, Kim is such a defensive-minded coach and says that that's really where the offense begins.
Mm-hmm.
And yet they've had a tendency the last couple of weeks to give up a lot of points, like almost 20 points more per game than they're used to giving up.
And I think coaches always said, unbelievable, that our defense does lead to great offense. When we're defending and we're getting deflections, especially when we get steals, we see some great things happen on the offensive end. Unfortunately, we have turned it over way too much. And because we turned it over, we play some teams that have capitalized off of our turnovers. So I think if anybody saw the first half of Texas, LSU proved that we can play defense. But we have to be able to string together two halves to show that we can sustain a lead and continue to play great defense.
Well, going into this, Shaeeta, the SEC tournament, it looks very competitive. Obviously, South Carolina and Texas are the top two teams, but LSU's right there. Kentucky, we know they're good. We know Alabama's good. A lot of depth to the league this year, and I would be surprised if somebody other than Texas or South Carolina won, but it's still, there's a lot more talent in this league. Should be a fun conference tournament.
Yeah, I think this is by far just one of the most exciting, SEC tournaments we're going to have. I think if you look across the country, the SEC is the strongest tournament, and I'm with you that there could be an upset. Let's not forget Oklahoma can score the ball. Yeah, so with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, I think it is shaking up the SEC even more. Where you got Tennessee, you have so many teams that can show up at different times. So I'm a fan of the game. So as much I'm cheering LSU, but I'm a fan to watch every game because I think we will see some upsets.
Yeah, Ole Miss too. We can't forget about
that.
Yeah,
Ole Miss. Yeah, absolutely.
Shaeeta, it was great having you on. We'll have to get you back on again here during March.
Yes.
Get used to or get ready for a deep run here in the NCAA tournament. Should be at least Elite Eight, hopefully, and we'll get you back on again.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, Shaeeta Williams, nice job. Color analyst for the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Quite a lineup of events in February from your friends at the East Baton Rouge Library. Always a hit, Mid-City Microcon returns on February 8th. Grab your bestie on February 14th for Movies on the Plaza, Galentine's Edition. The library also welcomes Poet Laureate Allison Pellegrin and author Robert Penn this month. For more details about these events and others, visit ebrpl.com. That's ebrpl.com.